is allowed for the consent agenda items. Do you have any comment on the consent agenda?
I'm sorry, I was very confused there. No. I thought this was public comment.
No, it's not. Thank you. Any public comment to the agenda? We need to time that too. I think the agenda has passed. Thank you. Special presentations. Do it one time. Do we have Jacqueline Byers here? Good morning, Jacqueline. Jolynn. Excuse me. You know, after 33 years, some of the presentation proclamations that we provide are relatively short. 33 years, there is a lot to say. So, if you don't mind. I don't mind. The Board of Supervisors proclamation honoring Jacqueline. Jolynn. Why am I? You may have to whisper in my ear. Byers. Whereas Jolynn Byers was a local teenager. But by the way, I had new glasses at 5 o'clock last night, and I'm just beginning to see the audience. So bear with me. Whereas Jolynn Byers was a local teen whose interest in Yuba County government began in 1983 as an ROP student at the County Health Department, and then after graduating from Lyndhurst High School in 1985, Jolynn honored her office skills at local business University Paint Company in Namas, Inc. and Bradley's Department Store. And whereas Jolynn began full-time employment with Yuba County on August the 1st, 1988 as a typist clerk 2 in the Welfare Fraud Division of Health and Human Services, and later transferred to the Special Investigation Unit in May of 1990. And whereas it can be said it was in the SIU that Jolynn learned the importance of holding people accountable and enforcing the law, but little did she know how much those enforcement skills would come in handy later in her career. Whereas following her 10-year stint in the Human Services Agency, Jolynn took an accounting assistant 2 position with the Auditor Controller's Office in September of 1998, before some of you were born, and began working through the ranks, eventually achieving the role of payroll technician 2008, where she continued until 2021, when a part-time payroll system transition, she was promoted to a human resource technician. Whereas Jolynn endured many payroll process changes, including 2 system implementations, a CalPERS system upgrade, and seemingly infinite number of new state and federal payroll laws, which she dutifully interpreted, all the while maintaining high level of accuracy and competency. And whereas over her career, Initiative garnished a nomination in 1992 for Employee of the Quarter by the House Committee on Social Services, Clerical Accounting, and Fraud Division, and then a Shelter Manager certificate at the Loma Rica School Evacuation Center during the January 1997 flood event. She later earned the Fundamental Payroll certification through the American Payroll Association in 2011, plus an associate's degree from Yuba College in Personnel Management. And whereas those who worked with Jolynn describing her as someone who maintains a dedicated to the employees of Yuba County, going over and beyond the help being a taskful to ensure employee paychecks were accurate and on time, and demonstrating ability found in emphasizing with the enforcement payroll laws and regulations. And whereas Joanne is looking forward to a well-deserved retirement with her spouse, Barbara, going on adventures, traveling the country, spending our time with family, and never looking at another payroll register again. Now, therefore, the Yuba County Board of Supervisors commends Jolynn Byers for her more than 33 years of dedicated service to the citizens of Yuba County and wish her a happy and well-earned retirement.
Thank you all. I appreciate this very, very much. There's a few things in here that people are going to be in trouble for, but that's okay. I've thoroughly enjoyed working at Yuba County and definitely payroll. It's been a pleasure with payroll, and hi, Axel. And my grandson is here. Come here. And I thoroughly enjoyed working with everybody and getting to know just about everyone in the county. And you do that with payroll, because at some point you talk to everybody, and I will miss everybody because this is my second family, and I will miss you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. We now have another proclamation. Marnie, are you here? Wonderful. So from the County of Yuba Board of Supervisors, a proclamation recognizing small business, May the 1st through the 7th, 2022. Whereas Yuba County recognizes National Small Business Week and values the dedication, entrepreneurial spirit of small businesses that keep the Yuba-Sutter region economically growing stronger. And whereas it is a collaborative mission of the county, work in partnership with Yuba-Sutter Chamber of Commerce and other organizations to help our businesses grow and thrive. And whereas Yuba County appreciates support provided to small businesses by the Yuba-Sutter Chamber of Commerce and other organizations. And whereas during the week of May the 1st through the 7th, 2022, the Small Business Administration and the Yuba-Sutter Chamber of Commerce are celebrating Small Business Week. Now, therefore, it is hereby proclaimed that the Yuba County Board of Supervisors do hereby proclaim May the 1st through the 7th, 2022 as Small Business Week in Yuba County, and urge all citizens to acknowledge and celebrate the achievements made by small businesses, both locally and nationally.
I would just like to say thank you to the county and the supervisors for their support of small business. And this is in recognition of our small businesses, who are the backbone of our community. They're a major economic driver for our community, and they make us who we are as a community. And Heather Thompson, who is the owner of The Brick, is here with me today. And these are the people behind those businesses that dedicate their lives to these businesses, and they should be applauded because they bring so much value and richness to our community. And Heather has been really out at the forefront in Marysville in particular. We have a Marysville Business Alliance now, and the phrase, a rising tide lifts all boats, is very true with owners like Heather, who has really built up her business and took it over from Dawn and has grown it even more, and is really helping other businesses around her to thrive as well. And so this is for our local small business community. So thank you.
And if you haven't tried their food, please stop in because it's excellent, especially the brownies. Go for the brownie. Okay, public communications, Mary.
Any person may speak about any subject of concern, provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for receiving such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. If you are participating via Zoom and wish to comment, please use the raise hand function or *9 if participating on a phone. Please note, no board action can be taken on comments made under this heading. And through the chair, we do have 2 cards here present. I know we have Charles on Zoom. Not sure if you want to do Zoom or you want to do in person first.
Let's do in person.
Okay, first card I have is Tom McWhorter. Yes.
Good morning, Yuba County. Good morning, Supervisors. My name is Tom McWhorter. This weekend, I was perusing the internet and ran across some posts on Facebook, and they were talking about how the average citizen should be asking a few questions about this upcoming June 7th direct primary election. First question they posed out there was, why is the current Yuba County clerk overseeing her own election? Why hasn't Donna Hillegas recused herself? And so these are some good questions I haven't had a chance to ask myself, but I did pose that question to our supervisors, and I did get a response from not my supervisor, District 3, but from District 5, Randy Fletcher. And the response was, Tom, I'm sure you're aware the clerk's office has very strict state regulations. May I suggest you ask Donna directly to respond to your questions if you really want the answers. I trust Donna to follow the regulations and have no doubt in her integrity. Her email is emails, and then respectfully, Randy Fletcher, 5th District Supervisor. So after a little bit, I replied and I said, as per usual, a less than satisfactory answer from one of our supervisors. You may well trust Donna Hillegas. What about the public, those that you represent? What is their level of trust in any of our systems? Judges are not forced to recuse themselves from cases because they cannot be trusted. They recuse themselves so as there is no appearance of impropriety, as well as avoiding grounds for an appeal. Supervisor Fletcher just suggested we ask the fox if it intends to kill the chickens or eat the eggs. I felt it was better to alert the farmer so as to have a chance to save the hen house. And I hope when I go over there and ask that I won't be given another form just to request some basic information. When asked about the checklist that the department uses to clean the voter rolls, I was given this, stated that their rules are public law, but that this request would have to go through legal. I don't understand why, but when I do go ask about when the election supervisor clerk will recuse herself, I hope I don't get handed another piece of paperwork. Thank you and have a nice week.
Yep.
Second person we have is Brian E. Lenahan.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to comment. I wanted to request that we have a closed session on the Brown Act. They're usually really beneficial to everyone involved with these meetings and for the public. I haven't been through one myself in about 20 years, but traditionally you'd have county council to put on usually about a 45-minute presentation with some questions being asked by various people, usually quite often by supervisors themselves. And I just think it would be a help. Thank you.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, a couple months ago, we did just that. We did a Brown Act, Public Records Act, and social media presentation for the board. It should be online. I can get the date for you.
Okay, any other questions from the audience? Comments? Now to the Zoom.
Okay, we will go ahead and take Edwin. Or actually, Charles.
Hello, thank you.
So Charles, you can start from where you left off so that you don't have to repeat yourself.
I will do that. Thank you. So recently, Yuba County updated its hazard mitigation plan. While Butte County's mitigation plan has 22 pages devoted to the North Yuba Water District, Yuba County has diddly squat. That's right, nothing. How could this be? This is a gross oversight, almost as if someone in a position of authority said, let's omit anything about North Yuba. There is mounting evidence of the general manager overlooking illegal water diversions. The district cannot or does not want to do the one thing it is supposed to do, deliver water to its customers. Recognizing the situation for what it is, South Feather Water and Power Agency has characterized the district as having gone rogue. Gentlemen, when are the county supervisors going to do the same and recognize the dysfunctional governance of this special district? I am only a water district customer, and my opinion counts for little. However, the opinion of the Yuba County supervisors carries great weight. It is past time, for the supervisors to weigh in on all the irregularities going on with this special district. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else, Mary?
Yes, next person we will take is Edwin.
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
Chair and members of the Yuba County Board of Supervisors. My name is Edwin. I'm calling on behalf of the Yuba Liberation Coalition. Our coalition sent every single supervisor a letter on March 25th, 2022, a month ago from yesterday, requesting a meeting to discuss the Yuba ICE contract. And we have yet to receive any response from any of you or have heard any discussion at these public meetings with respect to that issue. Is there an email or can I forward this letter to anyone in particular? Can I connect with someone after this meeting to set that up? Thank you so much. I would greatly appreciate it, as well as the remaining 4 people that are in ICE custody at the Yuba County Jail. Thank you.
So I believe, Edwin, that is on a coming meeting on an agenda item. So you may watch for that in the near future. Anyone else?
I believe, sir, that Edwin, I believe that it's upcoming on the May 24th meeting or the May 10th. If you want to go ahead and give our office a call, we can go ahead and give you more information. Thank you. And next person we have was a phone call, but it seemed like they've got their finger down, their hand. So no one else.
Okay, moving right along. We will head into county departments.
Through the chair. Have it back up.
Okay, we have a person with a phone number 530-806-3213. If you could please state your name.
To press *9 to unmute since they're on a phone.
Okay, if you're on the phone, you have to *9 to unmute yourself. Okay, on the phone, you should have a privilege to go ahead and unmute yourself. If you'll do a *9, you should be able to unmute yourself.
There seems to be a bit of technical difficulty. I see one other hand raised.
Hello?
There we go.
Hello?
You are on.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My
Good
name
morning.
is Ginger Hughes here in Brownsville, California, and I also am on the NYWD board. And I wanted to address the Food Hub grant. Is that appropriate at this time?
At this point, no, it is on the agenda, so it is not under public comment.
Not now?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, it seems we have another hand. Donna Wahlberg.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Good morning, everybody. Are we still on public comment? I was a little late. I wanted to comment on the same thing Mr. McWhorter did about potential conflict of interest. It just seems to have an appearance of impropriety, and I know you may not have the answers, but perhaps you could ask some questions of Ms. Hildegast when she does appear on agenda item coming up regarding the voting machines. And so I just wanted to say that. And as far as public comment goes, I would also like to, I know the item number, let me see if I can find it. Your agenda item number. Well, anyway, she will be addressing you soon about the renewal of a contract for an electronic. Oh, it's number 11 or 173-2022 about the contract to get a new ballot voting machine. As you probably all well know, there's been, at least at a minimum, an appearance of impropriety regarding the reliability of the trustworthiness of this machine, whether or not they can be tampered with or flip votes, which I think there was actually some evidence of that in different counties, different states, particularly with the Dominion machines that we have in our county. And I know she's going to be requesting the purchase of a new machine. Probably won't be Dominion, but just the ballot machines in themselves pose a great risk of the potential for fraud and tampering. And, we're not that big of a county. I recommend, I urgently ask that you say, this is a good opportunity to say, no, we're not going to use electronic ballot machines in our county. We can handle doing a hand count. And so that's what I think we should do. I think it's the most trustworthy way to protect this most precious right that we have, the most powerful voice that voters have, and to maintain the integrity of our vote and the elections. And so if this is a crossroads, if this, it's time to get rid of the old machine, and that's the purpose of them presenting this new contract, is because they don't trust, or the other one has it's time to go, then how about just letting it go and just saying, no, we're not going to do ballot machines in Yuba County. And so I would ask that you pass a resolution to that effect, and deny her request to renew a new contract. So that's what I have to say on public comment. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other requests?
That is all through Zoom.
Very good. Under County Departments, item 196, 2022, probation. Adopt a resolution declaring April the 24th through April 30th, 2022, Crime Victims' Rights Week, and allow the Probation Department Victim Services Unit to honor local law enforcement, district attorney staff, community partner agencies, and community members commemorating 37 years of victim services in Yuba County through the Probation Department. I believe we have a presentation. There we are.
Good morning, board. Good morning,
Good
Chair.
morning.
Eric Runge, Yuba County Probation Victim Services. This week is the third day into National Crime Victims' Rights Week. As you heard, it is national. So what we would like today is for the board to acknowledge the resolution and to proclaim this week, the 24th through the 30th, National Crime Victims' Rights Week. So with that said, we have some individuals that we would like to recognize. National Crime Victims' Rights Week started here in California back in 1983 with a young lady who was stalked and murdered by her ex-boyfriend. The family who was left behind after the funeral stopped at the local market to purchase some bread. While in the checkout line, the mother of this young lady comes face to face with the murderer only days after the crime was committed. She was confronted. They had no notice. The family wasn't notified. Nothing. See, at that time, victims had no rights, but your perpetrators have more than 20 individual rights as they go through the court process. But today, I can tell you right now, victims have 17 rights that are guaranteed to them by law, a law that was brought into effect in 2008. Yes, took a long time, but Marcy, her brother, did not stop. He continued, he pushed forward, and he brought our victims' rights so that they can be heard, have a voice, have some choices, and have access to our process that is sometimes confusing and traumatic all in its own. So again, I want to thank the board for their support to our probation department for allowing victim services to continue to run as we do within our community of Yuba County. So with that said, we would like to recognize a few individuals that continue to support us through our process and the services that we provide Yuba County. Again, thank you very much.
Please do that. Continue.
All right. So first, our quilt ladies. Can we have our quilt ladies come up? So as you see before you here, we have some quilts. So these lovely ladies, so we call them our quilt ladies, but their name is Ladies of the Brownsville Lutheran Church Mountain Quilt Guild. So these ladies put together these quilts for us monthly that we are able to give out to our children who come in for therapy or our kids who are in crisis. Sometimes late at night, they don't have the proper clothing, the proper shoes. But you and I all both know that a nice blanket kind of soothes any kind of stress we may be feeling. So today, we would like to recognize our quilt ladies for everything they do for us and everything they do for our kids in our community. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. She just says, so if you ever need more quilts, just call us.
But hopefully not as a victim.
Next on our list, we're going to go Marysville Police Department. So Joe, can you please come up? Joe Vasconcelos. So funny story here is this is the first time I'm actually meeting Joe face to face. But Joe and I have communication every day. Without Joe, we don't get our job done and serve the clientele or the victims of downtown Marysville. Joe provides us with our reports that allow us to do our job. She provides us with extra information that we always need to make sure we get our clients eligible. Joe is always so again, I get emails from Joe. And on the other end, you don't necessarily see Joe, but I know Terry has had contact with her, and she's always told me, can you see the smile? She's always told me about this wonderful lady with this wonderful smile, okay? And she doesn't see victim services as a burden. She sees us as an asset, and she knows that her information to us provides great service to the people of Yuba County. So, Joe, thank you very much. So next we have Monique Devitt. So Monique's out of our DA's office. Monique is a little bit new to Yuba County, but I guarantee you Monique is not new to law or the courtroom. So Monique's come to us, and a lot of times it takes a little bit of time for people to kind of ease into their position. Not for Monique. You walk in and here comes Monique. Like a bull, charging forward, handling cases, handling business. The way she treats our clients is probably why she's receiving this award today. The compassion, the thoughtfulness, the understanding that they need to understand this confusing and complicated court process. So Monique, with that said, all of the staff at Victim Services really appreciate you and the relationship you have brought to Yuba County. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, this guy. All right, Detective Mallory, come on up. So, Braden's one of our detectives at Yuba County Sheriff's Department. Look at it. This guy's a stud muffin. Okay. But I tell you what, so he's on our forensic interview team, and our forensic interview team interviews our kids ages. We try to keep it, 6 to 14, but we interview younger kids and kids with delays and special needs and those kind of things. So when this guy sees these kids come in and he does a forensic interview with them, he provides a service to these kids, empathy to these kids, a caring factor to these kids that's unmatchable at times. I'm going to tell the story. So he comes in and he does an interview with a kid who's got some special needs. He's struggling to get this interview out with this kid. He is all over the place. So this guy thinks it's going to be a good idea to sit on the floor with the kid. He sits on the floor. Detective Mallory turns into a jungle gym. And this is back in COVID, so he's got his mask on. We've all got masks on. And this kid is running around doing his thing, and he's really working hard trying to get the information out in this interview. Next thing you know, this kid presses his face right to his mask. Takes it all in stride, takes it like a trooper, moves forward in his interview, gets his interview done, comes out of there, and you can start to see sweat beads just kind of rolling down his face like, man, is there anything on me? But this guy, the care and compassion that this guy shows when he does his interview with our kids, like I said, is absolutely unmatchable. So again, thank you for your service to Yuba County. Okay, this next young lady is not here today in person, but I believe she might be on via Zoom. She's actually in a training in Monterey, boo-hoo. But Amy Molina Jones is part of our team through Yuba County Office of Education. I work with Amy on a weekly basis in several different groups that we are partners in. Amy Molina Jones fights for her students like no other. She ensures that they get the service they need. She is one of those individuals that's a resource for resources. So if you don't know what's going on in Yuba County, contact Amy, ask a few questions. If she doesn't know the answer, she will definitely find the answer for you. Amy and I have worked with several of the schools in our local area, and we work hard on trying to get our clientele services. Amy is the leader when it comes to that, and we appreciate Amy very much. So again, this award goes to Amy during National Crime Victims' Rights Week because she is an advocate for our victims of crime. So again, thank you to Amy. And Amy, if you're with us, I'll go ahead and hang that in my office for you. The next one is from our Yuba County Probation Department. So Bethany, if you could come up. So Bethany's relatively new to us here in probation department, but she rolls her sleeves up, she digs right in. She continues to help victim services with little things behind the scenes, continues to support us so that we can do our job. Bethany comes over. She's kind of meek, mild, kind of quiet. She comes in and she'll knock on her door. Hey, hate to bother you, but is there anything else I can do for you? Oh yeah, here you go. Come on in. I got lots. She takes it without any question, no qualms, no concerns. But when Yuba County Victim Services is dealing with clients, having our support people come in and really provide that support that takes some of the stress off of us so that we can do some of the other jobs that we do is vital. And without Bethany, we couldn't do what we do at Victim Services. So Bethany, thank you very much. I know. So I'm going to be in trouble for this one because she's completely unaware that this is going to happen. But we have a new person in our office at Victim Services, and her name is Haynes. So Caitlin, can you come on up, please? She's fighting it right now. Come on. So Caitlin's relative, you can stand closer. I don't bite. So Caitlin is relatively new to us. I believe she started a little over a year ago. So March 2021. Caitlin is our probation aide. Some people might call it a secretary. Some people might talk about it as data entry, administrative professional, that kind of thing. But in our office, if you can't meet and greet clients with the compassion and empathy that these individuals need when they're going through this trauma that they go through, you can't work in our office. Caitlin can work in our office. Caitlin provides us with that extra added, hi, how can I help you? What can we do for you? I'm sorry to hear about your situation, but she means it. And when you come into our office, you can feel a little bit okay when you run into Caitlin because Caitlin provides that face, that welcoming appearance, the legitimate compassion and empathy that these individuals need. They come in and sometimes they are already sobbing by the time they hit our front door. It is very vital that we care and provide that empathy. And this was unanimous in our office when your name came up. And yes, it came up when you weren't around because we did want this to be a surprise. But again, it's for your service and your dedication to helping our victims in our office. So again, thank you, Caitlin. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all being here. Marysville PD, Yuba County, probation, everybody being here today to honor these individuals who are working hard to serve our clients in Yuba County. I appreciate you. I appreciate the full packed room that we have right now. This is great. DA's office. We all work as a team. We all see each other, if not on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Unfortunately, lately it's been on a daily basis. But these clients that come into contact with victim services need you. They need us. They need that help. They need that warm hand as they go through some of this trauma, trials, tribulations that they endure. They experience a bad situation that sometimes gets a little worse before it gets better. And having people like you around, serving them, providing that service, that empathy, that compassion is what Yuba County needs, and I'm proud to be part of it. So thank you very much. Again, board, I thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting probation and the fact that victim services gets to work out of their department. I appreciate it.
So let me expand on this just a little bit. And I'm going to go back 50 years ago when I delivered the first notice of a victim homicide and went to the family and spent 5 minutes and tried to console them in 5 minutes. And that was the system then. what you do today, what all of you do, is you are the heroes of those families. They don't know it at the moment, but I can tell you the emotional strain and the help that you provide for them through Yuba County probation is priceless. We really appreciate it. The board couldn't support you more. You do a tremendous job for our community, so please keep it up. Comments from the board?
Not sure there's too much more to say, so I'll just add my personal thanks, Eric, to you and your team and the partners that you guys work with. Tremendous service to the community. Thank you.
Thank you. You did a great job in what you praised, the empathy and the compassion in a time of need. Obviously, those are things that are heroic and do make people's lives different. So thank you. Thank you.
It is wonderful to see this as a complete family. So once again, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think Yuba County is one of the few counties that have something like this with a response, rapid response that you provide. And it's necessary, and thank you very much for the hard work everybody does.
Thank you. Thank you very much, board.
And as the audience were to leave today, if you would walk around the room, I believe outside, you'll see a lot of pictures from victims. And those are your community members. So please take a moment and walk through and take that look. Again, thank you very much.
Supervisor Fletcher, thank you. Thank you, board.
I do believe a motion is required to approve the resolution. Public comment.
Second. I'll second it for you.
I have a first and a second, and I'd like to do a roll call, please.
Supervisor Vasquez?
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer?
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhr?
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford?
Yes.
Supervisor Fletcher?
Yes. Are there any public comments that anyone would like to make? And we'd be glad to hear any stories you might have. Have a moment to think. Okay. Thank you very much again.
Thank you, board.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 212-2022. Approve release of request proposal for architectural services for an animal care service expansion, open solicitation for competitive bid proposal, and authorize administrative services staff to distribute.
Wow.
That was a mouthful.
There was. That's.
I lost everybody.
So let me start with this. That was a tough act to follow right there. What Victim Services does for our community, the partnership that they are with us, especially with the Sheriff's Department, and Eric and his team, just phenomenal. So I'd just like to echo what you guys said on that. So,
thank you.
Well, I'm here today. I'm Nick Morzinski, Undersheriff with the Yuba County Sheriff's Department, and we have the request for release of the RFP for the architectural project, the expansion out at our animal care services. So our animal care services facility was first built in 2003. It's located at 5245 Feather River Boulevard. And this location is situated right there at the Yuba County Airport on the northwest side of the Yuba County Airport property. Our current building is approximately 4,700 square feet. It consists of offices, an operating room, an indoor cat room, laundry area, grooming area, and other places for our staff and for the animals. Right outside the main building is a 1,500 square foot kennel, which houses 18 different kennels, and that's primarily for dogs and larger animals. We also have 4 stalls out there, and that's for any livestock or larger animals that come into our facility. Simply put, we've outgrown this. We've outgrown this facility. Our county is growing, and our animal care services needs to grow with it. So our plan with this is to do an expansion project that consists of 3 different phases. The first phase, we have an area that's about a little under 2 acres that is directly north of the building itself. We need to get that fence repaired, and that's going to be an area where we can graze livestock And additionally, we have some semi-permanent buildings that we want to erect there to be able to house the animals and livestock that are coming in. The second phase would be to actually expand that building itself. So add some more office space, add some more storage space, some more rooms for the animals, additional kennels. And thirdly, there is a larger area that expands out off of that property that's about another 10 acres. And those 10 acres we would like to incorporate and use. We see it as a great opportunity to have an additional evacuation area for disasters and large animals when we have wildfires and other disasters. Right now, we currently use the Sheriff's Posse Arena up in Browns Valley. However, that particular area can be susceptible to fire as well. So it'd be great to have a secondary spot to be able to address that issue. So we worked with admin services and Sheriff's Department and developed an RFP for the architectural design and scope of the project. Qualifications from various architectural groups, and we got 4 vendors that are qualified. Those 4 vendors are going to be the 4 that would be able to submit proposals under the RFP. So much like victim services, our animal care services does great work for the community, both just in, day out animal care, and especially when we have the disasters that unfortunately hit us. Our animal care services manager, Heather Knoll, and her staff do phenomenal work with very limited resources in a very small facility. And the fact that they're able to complete that work and still provide this service is a true testament to what wonderful work they're doing. So in short, the release of this RFP is going to be that first step in growing our animal care services along with our county, which is growing at a rapid rate right now. Appreciate your time. I'll take any questions if you have them.
Questions from the board?
I'll move to approve.
I have a first and a second. Comments from the public? Hearing and seeing no comments. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer,
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhr,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford,
Yes.
Supervisor Fletcher.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Item number 200, we are going to poll, but I'll refer to County Council.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I am requesting that item 200, 2022 be pulled from the calendar. Some facts came to my attention just this morning that raised some legal issues, and I'd like to dive deeper before this matter comes before the board. So with your permission, if we could pull that item, I'd appreciate it.
Very good. I think there's a consensus to that. Yes. Thank you. Item number 190, 2022, Administrative Services, adopt resolution approving the U.S. Bank Equipment Release Agreement and approve professional services agreement with Advanced Document Concepts.
Good morning, Board, County Council, CAO. I'm Perminder Baines with Admin Services. I'm here to recommend that we approve the Advanced Docs contract for maintenance and adopt the resolution for the copier leases with US Bank. We ended up going out to RFP back in December and received 5 proposals. We had 3 panelists that scored the proposals, and Advanced Documents was the best value for the county. And that's what I'm here to propose, is that we award the contract with Advanced Docs. Is there any questions?
Questions from the board?
If this is inappropriate or if it's confidential information, I apologize and retract the question in advance. The gap between the first bidder and the third bidder, as far as like the number of the bid of the price, is that something that's disclosed afterwards, or no, that's not something that's disclosed?
We can disclose that. It's approximately, between the first and the second, it's approximately $4,000. And between the first and the third was approximately $23,000.
Perfect, thank you.
Comments from the public? Back to the board.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? None. Thank you.
Thank you. Was it public? Did you call for public? Okay.
I just missed it.
Sorry.
I was on it too quick.
I do want to add that that was the original proposal, and we did negotiate and actually brought that cost down even further.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Item number 214-2022, Sheriff Corner approved services agreement with the FLOCK Group, Inc. for safety automated license plate readers.
Plug it in.
I was afraid to say.
Thank you very much. Good morning again, Board. Nick Morzinski, Yuba County Sheriff's Department. This one's exciting. We are asking the board to approve a service agreement with Flock Safety ALPR system. That's an automated license plate reader system to be used here in the county. Got a quick slideshow that I can give you guys just to give you a little bit of background. So as you know, Yuba County Sheriff's Department jurisdiction includes nearly 650 square miles. It's a big area to patrol with limited resources. Our current ratio of deputies to citizens right now sits at 0.86 deputies per 1,000 residents. DOJ reports that the national average for counties is actually 2.7 per 1,000 residents. So we're a little short on that end. National statistics also show that 70% of all crimes involve a vehicle, and stolen vehicles have definitely been on the rise within our jurisdiction. If you look at the last 10 years, starting out at 2012, we had 13 stolen and recovered vehicles taken by the Sheriff's Department. That hit a high back in 2020, all the way up to 108. And last year was 86. We're on pace to keep that same ratio going right now. So ALPRs, what are they? Flock Safety ALPRs, they're high-speed cameras that will capture a still image, and we place those strategically throughout the county. The cameras themselves recognize license plates and vehicle descriptions of the passing vehicles and can be checked against our law enforcement databases for either a stolen vehicle or a wanted vehicle of some sort. If that's detected, then that information is transmitted to our dispatch and to our deputies. It gives us a location of where that vehicle had gone by, and then we can dispatch whatever resources out to go see if we can find that. The ALPR system can also be used as a tool to assist in investigations. If we have a major crime that goes down, we can check that information coming off of the cameras to be able to determine those responsible for it. A quick example, this is actually locally, Marysville PD uses an ALPR system, different than Flock, but however, it's the same concept. And this was provided by District Attorney Curry on a recent case that we had. So back in 2021, at 6:30 a.m., a truck was reported stolen out of the Yuba City Police Department. That was entered into the stolen vehicle system. And at 11:31 that same morning, there was an ALPR hit in Marysville on that stolen vehicle. They dispatched their police officers to the area. They located and stopped the truck. And by 12:30 p.m. that same day, that victim got their truck back. So that's just a real quick down and dirty on how the ALPR systems work. Based on this information, our DA's office was able to get a conviction and sentence that subject to 3 years of local prison. So with Flock itself and with this ALPR system, what it's capturing is just the license plate data, typically taken from the rear of the vehicle and a vehicle description. It's important to note that it's not taking pictures of any of the people inside. There's no facial recognition component. And by no means is it for any type of traffic enforcement. It doesn't capture that data. It's taking a still picture and checking it against law enforcement record databases. So again, it's just picking up that license plate information. It's objective evidence about the vehicle itself. If that vehicle is entered in as stolen, then it's going to pick up. It has nothing to do with any of the occupants of the vehicle or their information. Again, no facial recognition. It is not tied in any way, shape, or form to any personal identifying information on the occupants or drivers of the vehicle. And we don't use it for traffic enforcement at all. We've also vetted this through our county council. It adheres to all state laws that we have. The footage itself that comes in is going to be owned by the sheriff's department. Flock does not share or sell any of that information. We have, per state mandate, we are capped at retaining that data for a year, and then that information is going to be deleted from the system. It's all stored securely over the government cloud. This is an important part of it too. Any type of search that is conducted through the Flock system by any one of our deputies or any other law enforcement personnel, they have to provide a reason for that search, typically a report number, a case number, what crime they're investigating to be able to seek out that data. With that audit trail also comes a neat feature that Flock provides to us, and that's a transparency portal. So we are very aware of privacy issues and rights of our community, and we want to be as transparent with this as possible. On our website, we will have that transparency portal where people can log in and take a look and see how many searches were conducted, what the reasons for the searches were, whether there were any hits of any particular vehicles, and other data that can be provided through that. Also, it's not tied into DMV, so we can't check somebody's registration on it. If you're expired a couple days, you're not going to get hit from this camera system. So what it does for crime. So when we get these real-time alerts, again, we have a large county to patrol, and this is just a force multiplier for us. It gives us an area of where to go to find these stolen or wanted vehicles. And as we use this as an investigative tool, then as we start to clear cases off this and the word gets out to the criminal element of our public, it's going to deter crime, and it's going to decrease our crime rates here in the county. One example of this was a 12-month study by San Marino PD down south. They found after 12 months, there was a 70% decrease in residential burglaries, a 19% decrease in Part 1 crimes, which are your major crimes, and a 36% increase in the number of requested cameras for their area. So again, as we use this technology and word gets out and we start getting some success with it, undoubtedly crime is going to lower in our area. I like to close with this. This was an example provided by Flock itself, which occurred back in 2020 in Georgia. So that little guy right there was abducted by a stranger. At 12:33 p.m., they released an Amber Alert to try to locate that kidnapper and the child. At 1 p.m., they searched the information through Flock, and by 2:30 p.m., the suspect vehicle was located. They were able to put a stop on the vehicle at 5 p.m. and by 6 p.m. that same day, that baby was reunited with its mother. So in 5.5 hours with use of this technology, they were able to solve that crime and undoubtedly save a life. I can't think of a better example of the purpose of this technology. Again, it's not for traffic enforcement. This is strictly to solve crimes and to catch bad guys and to make sure that we keep our community safe. So we're asking that you approve the contract with Flock.
Questions from the board?
Move to approve.
I had just a quick question. Was
Yes,
there
sir.
25 cameras? Is that right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
The current contract would be for 25 cameras placed throughout the county.
I'll second, and I have a comment, not so much a question, but Under Sheriff, just wanted to thank you for the community presentation that you gave as well. I think it was really informative. It gave the public an opportunity not only to see a presentation very similar to this, but more importantly, to ask questions that they had. And I think it was extremely valuable. And also, I know this is something my constituents have been asking for a couple years. And so I'm really excited. And thanks to the Sheriff's Department for your efforts on this.
Great, thank you, sir.
Questions from the public? Come. Yep.
Thank you.
You are Tom.
My name is Tom McWhorter. Anyway, I was at the presentation. I would like to say that I am in favor of this system. I thought it was very good. There was a question posed to the Flock company representative. And I see a slide here, so I'm going to ask the undersheriff.
Sure.
The data retention as presented by the representative was 60 days on the camera. I see on your slide, though, it seems to be more in line with state requirements. How was that accomplished?
Yeah, correct.
That's a good thing.
And County Council, you may be able to jump in and help me out here with this, but the state mandates that we retain the data for up to a year, which we're going to do. That data is only searchable through Flock for our staff up through 60 days. Beyond that, it's retained and it would have to go through a special process in order to get it. However, it's compliant with state guidelines on making sure that we retain it for a year.
The undersheriff is correct. We had quite a back and forth, and because there is a state statute that says CHP must dispose of the data after 30 days. There is no such legislation for local agencies. There is a bill in the legislature right now that seeks to have all law enforcement agencies get rid of the data after 24 hours if there is no hit. That is presently stalled in committee and unlikely to move forward with that short time period. It may be amended, we don't know yet. However, there was a case that came down from the appellate court that said, yes, you are obligated to maintain this data. And it is actually subject to the Public Records Act. However, the appellate court said you have to de-identify it. They didn't say how to do that, as courts will often do. They say thou shalt, and they leave it to us to just figure out how exactly we're supposed to do that. But in any event, the 1-year requirement is part of state law, and the Sheriff's Department and Flock agree.
Very good. I'm really glad to hear that it could be used for Amber Alerts. That to me is just in and of itself, one case, if it works, worth priceless for families.
Yeah, you know, in addition to Amber Alerts, the silver alerts that we have, blue alerts that come through when there's an assault on a peace officer. So just great technology that I guarantee will be worth its weight in gold.
Very good. So I have a first and a second. Everyone signify by yes for approval.
Yes.
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 Any no's?
No.
Very good. It passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 209, Sheriff Corner.
Stuck with me again.
Approve release of request for proposal for public safety system software, open solicitation for competitive bids.
Good morning again, gentlemen. This is the last one, I promise you, from the Sheriff's Department. I'm Nick Morzinski, the undersheriff, and this one, I know I keep saying this, but this is another exciting project that we have going on, and it's coming to fruition after a long time of waiting. We are asking the board to approve and release an RFP for our public safety system software suite program. What that entails, the Sheriff's Department consists of several divisions. We've got our patrol division, our jail division, within that several units, including investigations, the coroners, dispatch and records, animal care, civil division. All of these departments, as you would know, run on software and computer systems, and right now our system is quite outdated. We operate the 911 communication center for the county, where calls for service are dispatched by our dispatchers. Our operations division currently staffed at about 57, and we have at the jail, of course, with a bed capacity of 428 beds. We're seeking proposals from qualified vendors to provide the Sheriff's Department with a suite of public safety software that can encompass all of those different divisions. So right now, it's a little bit segmented. We have various programs that are specific to our civil division, ones that are more specific to our jail, others that operate for operations. And our goal here is to use today's technology to bring that all under one system and easily accessible by all of our staff. Those systems include our computer-aided dispatch, which we refer to as our CAD system, our mobile computing system, which is mobile, law enforcement records management, which is our RMS system, and our jail management system, JMS. And again, we're looking to consolidate that. Our current system, which is the AS400, was actually developed back in 1988, and it was last upgraded in 2012. So it has reached its end of life, end of support, and is extremely outdated. If you could imagine today whipping out a flip phone from 2012 and trying to do everything you can with your smartphone today, it's going to be impossible. Go back to 1988. I think they had bag phones back then. I don't know if they even had cell phones. I was just a young man, much like you guys. So anyhow, it's in desperate need of updating. The releasing of this RFP would be the next step to bring our county, bring our agency up into the 21st century with this software. So we've been partnering over the last couple of years with a consultant group called DeltaWorks. They came and did a system analysis for us, and they're also assisted us with this RFP. They have a wealth of experience in today's available systems, the different vendors that can provide this service to agencies. And it's just been a wonderful partnership with them. Along with admin services, they helped develop this RFP, which is a few inches thick, to make sure that we can get all of the bells and whistles that we're asking for. And we actually have that interoperability with the different systems that we have, and then make sure we're getting the best product, bang for our buck. So in closing, I can answer technical questions as best I can about what that RFP process is and what that system looks like. But after 35 years, the AS400 has been great. I liken it to a Peterbilt truck. The thing's still trucking and still moving along. However, it's time to upgrade, and now we have the opportunity to do so with various funding resources. And this is just going to be a great project to bring us up to date with our software and better serve the community. So I'll take any questions from you gentlemen if you have any.
Questions from the board?
I remember the pencil and paper used in 2004, and I make the motion that we approve this right now.
I'll second.
Speed it up.
Comments from the public? Seeing no comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Ordinance and public hearing. Mary?
If you challenge in court the action or decision of the Yuba County Board of Supervisors regarding a zoning, planning, land use, or environmental protection matter made at any hearing described in this notice, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at such hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the Yuba County Board of Supervisors at or prior to such hearing. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual or group.
County Administrator, let's open the public hearing and hold a hearing waiving second reading, adopt ordinance, repealing and enacting chapters, a whole bunch of them, preparing 13-00056.
Thank you, Chairman. Sean Powers, Assistant County Administrator. Part 2 of our discussion is a carryover from the 12th to look at the county's annual update of our fee schedule. The item before you remains unchanged since we thoroughly reviewed it on the 12th, with the exception of the correction we made to the summary of changes on page 2 of the master fee schedule, where a few lines were omitted. The actual schedule that was before you was adoption remains unchanged as agendized and presented before. So with that, I'll entertain any questions or any comments.
Questions, comments from the board? Questions from the public? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
I have a first and second. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Vasquez?
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer?
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhr?
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford?
Yes.
Supervisor Fletcher?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Correspondence. There's at least one letter. If anyone that wrote that letter happens to be in the audience that would like to make a comment, who's sitting in the third row off to the left, you have our permission to make a quick comment if you would like.
I wasn't expecting to be able to, but thank you. David Reed.
It's appropriate.
David Reed, Executive Director of Yuba-Sutter Arts and Culture. Chairman Fletcher, supervisors and staff, thanks for this opportunity. You've got the letter, so I did add a couple of things that I wanted to call to your attention over and above what I wrote in the letter requesting our annual consideration for funding from the county. We actually just received in our bank account today the National Endowment for the Arts re-granting grant money that I had mentioned, I think, in prior presentations. That $100,000 will be redistributed through the county to various artists and arts organizations. We're finishing up going through all the applications. We had a whole process that local applicants had to go through and to make sure they meet the NEA requirements. So we'll pump a little bit of money back into the creative sector here in Yuba and Sutter counties. We've become involved the last couple of months pretty heavily with the Marysville Joint Unified School District, working with Dr. Israni. I had a meeting last evening, the second of a series of meetings to try to reopen the Marysville High School auditorium. Lots of interesting proposals around that, about how it may best be served. I'd always heard it was a $20 million fixer-upper. Now it turns out that based on, I think it was PPK, architectural services firm they've been working with, that in fact, if the school district doesn't own it and it's owned by a nonprofit or some outside entity, and so all those upgrades related to a school facility would not be necessary, that it may in fact only be a $10 million fixer-upper. So, you know, that's definitely heading in the right direction. And I also, a quick update on the Cotton Rosser Bronze Statue project. I think I've told you it's a $250,000 budget. We're about $100,000 there. And we also have just completed in the last couple of weeks a $100,000 application to the, of all companies, the Kubota Corporation, tractors, ag equipment, working with the local ag dealers. We heard about this grant, and it's specifically for park improvements, as we will do on First Street at Plaza Park, it's called, next to the Silver Dollar. And also they referenced their interest in rodeo activities. And I'm thinking, boy, if there was ever a setup for something like a statue honoring Mr. Rosser, then that's it. The bronze statue, as of this afternoon, will be in place, the copy, the model, at the accountant's Cowboy Corral. If anybody wants to stop in, we've got a pedestal. There'll be the bronze model will be there. So We had a great meeting at Assemblyman Member Gallagher's office yesterday about some of the statewide funding initiatives, new legislation to support the creative sector throughout the state. So some of that, if these various measures are passed, will certainly trickle down to Yuba County. We'll do our best to rope in those dollars wherever we can. So thanks very much.
Great. Thanks, David. Board staff member reports. Andy.
Nothing.
Don.
Dull week.
Dull week.
Good afternoon or good morning.
Good morning.
It's exciting times. Kevin and Rachel and all the Yes to Yuba projects. We had a nice ribbon cutting for, is it Urban Wood? Is that correct? A family-owned business. They must have had over 100 people attend that. It's on Melanie Road, and there's more coming and yet to be announced. Thank you.
Out in my district, and it was a great ribbon cutting. Thank you, and again, out to Kevin and Rachel. There's another business opening up in Olivehurst, and I've been having them push that ball up that hill. And I wanted to thank them for their constant effort and their quick responses. And maybe someday we'll have a grocery store.
Gary.
Couple items. So first of all, back on kind of the Yes to Yuba team. Last week, Greater Sacramento Economic Council hosted an Engage forum and focused on Yuba County and Yuba Water Agency, including our cities of Wheatland and Marysville. And so we have representatives from all of those areas provide information to the Greater Sacramento region about the amazing things going on here in Yuba County. And so it was very exciting to participate in that. Participated with Supervisor Fletcher, who represented the Board of Supervisors, and I was able to represent Yuba Water Agency. In addition, on Friday evening, I was able to attend a farm to fork dinner in our foothills. All of the food and wine at the dinner came from within 10 miles of Oregon House, and it was absolutely amazing tasting food and just an amazing evening. There's one coming up in Marysville on May 7th, hosted by the same folks at the Brick. And I think there are still a few tickets available. I got some last night for my wife and I. So. And at least then there were a few left. So if you're interested in that, you can get some tickets. And then finally, just a heads up, I'll be leaving on Thursday to go to DC for Cap to Cap, and we'll be gone until Wednesday of next week. So, and I'll be representing Yuba County and Yuba Water Agency on the transportation and flood risk reduction teams as we advocate for the Sacramento region. So, very good.
Kevin.
Just a quick reminder. So the Measure K Citizen Oversight Committee, the board appointed 4 members. We're still advertising for the 5th member. I checked with the clerk of the board's office yesterday. We have 3 applicants. The plan is, but wrap it up at the end of this month, interview those applicants, myself, our treasurer tax collector, Dan Mearswa, and then Rich Eberly, auditor controller, and then the 3 of us will make a recommendation to the board for the remaining applicant.
Perfect.
So, and then that way we'll have that in place in May, and then the process will begin over the summer, where that committee will review the revenue and expenditures from this current fiscal year, and then provide a report to the Board of Supervisors in September.
Perfect.
All right.
County Council.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Tomorrow I'll be leaving for the County Council Conference, but I will be available by phone and by email, so don't hesitate to reach out if you need some legal advice.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Which is always. And I'll tell you, from the Yes group we have that work on behalf of Yuba County, all of us encounter issues. Nothing is perfect, except the Yes team. You see, they take a problem and solve problems, create solutions, and we're better off for it. I can't praise them enough. They are nothing but an asset to this community. So keep it up. You're doing a great job. I really appreciate, and I think the full board appreciates all your effort and energy that you put into this. And then spread that same energy into the rest of the county, which I know you do, because it happens. We have a team that's open for business, and we appreciate your support to keep that door open. So keep that up.
I forgot, thank you for the 48-hour response time to my request. Really helps.
Mary, comments?
Nothing, thank you.
From here, we go to closed session. I'll leave it as printed, and we will be back at the latest by 1:30 for a public hearing.
Are we going to have a break?
You get to have a break. Go for it. 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.